The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast, your go-to spot for real, unfiltered Angels talk, win or lose, on the Halos in the Infield Network. You never know what's going to happen. Walk-offs, meltdowns, heroics, or straight-up typical Angels disasters. We're breaking it all down. Who stepped up and took home the Golden Stamos, the most prestigious award in baseball? And who embarrassed themselves so badly they're stuck with the dreaded Nacho Night award? Drop your comments, call in, and sound off. We're reading them all. So like, share, subscribe, and buckle up, because this show pulls no punches. And yes, Anthony Rendon is still a fragile little bitch. Take it away, Todd.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast. We're the only place that gives you a real podcast by passionate fans such as myself and others that come on here on various forms of social media to come together, whether rain nor shine, literally, and either vent or have a good time about the win, which we haven't done in over a week. And so guess what, people? We won, and there's only one song that we play before we get into anything. It's Stuka's Baby, The Return! That's the Dickies right there giving us our song for tonight as the Angels win tonight 5-2 over the Detroit Tigers as they pitched their way to a victory tonight. We're going to get into all of that. But first of all, this podcast is brought to you in part by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, because that's how we roll. We read all the comments. We'll get into some phone calls maybe a little later. But the opening rant always takes first ups and lead off. And well, the Angels get a win tonight behind a good pitching performance from Kyle Hendricks, who a lot of Angel fans gave up on, including myself, thinking that he was just going to be one of these guys that starts off April hot, but then you see the real Kyle Hendricks. But behind the scenes, you saw a lot of him, a lot of players talking about how he's been working on his craft, trying to get himself back to, 4 years ago, Kyle Hendricks, and he's starting to get there. And tonight's game, other than a little sputtering out in the eighth inning, you almost had a feeling that he could almost get a complete save tonight or complete game. Like if he was able to given the chance to throw maybe 100 to 115 pitches, he might have done it. But he gave up a home run, and that was it. And he got a nice standing ovation. The crowd was lively tonight. And facing Jack Flaherty, who's 1-4 now, he didn't pitch all that bad for the Tigers. It's just that the Angels put together a really good rally, and we'll talk about that because they got off to a 1-0 lead. They've led all 3 games of this series, and they got a run in the second inning when they shouldn't have got one at all. Kyron Paris fly ball to right field. You had the right fielder for the Detroit Tigers, and Green. It was Carpenter Green who were playing the outfield, and they. It was Green's ball in center field, and Carpenter came over and busted a Mike Trout on Adele, and they dropped the ball. It led to a 1-0 lead. And then you got a huge RBI single with the bases loaded by Louis Renifo as he crammed it up the middle. It was 3-0 Angels. You're feeling good, but you're not feeling complete. You're not feeling arrogant yet because it could be a chance where you have an opportunity to give up these runs, and then it goes right back to the shitstorm. But you had a nice opportunity or nice chance there for a guy like Kyron Paris, who's been struggling. But over the last 2 games, he's got 3 hits. He came through with a huge double to knock in the go-ahead runs to not just the go-ahead, but I mean the runs to essentially put the game away. Nice little, double to left field. 2 runs came in to score, and it's 5-0. So that's almost how it ended. Detroit got a run off of Hendricks, and then they went to Burks, and Burks gave up a run. Jansen had to be called in, threw 5 pitches and got a save. But the Angels did one thing they hadn't done in a while, and that is work a walk. They worked 1 walk tonight, but they still managed to have 10 strikeouts. So double-digit strikeouts once again, but at least they were able to crack the code and get a W. And the Tigers only struck out 3 times. Burke pitched to contact. He pitched pretty good tonight, and he kept the Tigers on their heels tonight. The Angels, again, as much as you want to say, hey, they came through with 2 big hits with runners in scoring position, they left a lot out there. They were still striking out a lot. There were still a lot of pitches in the zone. Every time I look up, it was 0-2. So they were behind in a lot of these counts, but credit to them. They hung with it, and they hung a W up there to go to 13-19 on the season. Let's go through the lineup. Zach Neto went 1 for 4. Shonowell had a really nice game, and that's what you like to see. 3 hits and 4 at-bats. He was constantly on base and, pressuring the defense. Soler could have done better, but he did get a hit. He came around and scored. He had 2 strikeouts. Taylor Ward, what can I say about Taylor Ward other than he sucks? He went 0 for 4 again in that 4th spot with a strikeout, and then you had Travis d'Arnaud, another solid start for him. I think his 2 at-bats were really good. He went to right field for a single. He went to left field for a single or for a double. So his at-bats, it looks like he's one of the few guys in this lineup not trying to hit a home run. And then Louis Renifo, he went 1 for 4, but he did get that big 2 RBI single, which was huge. Campero came in there, 2 strikeouts, 0 for 4. I thought he hit the ball a couple times pretty hard, but right at people for 2 of his outs. And then Kyron Paris gets a much-needed hit, 2 runs, double right there. But he did have a strikeout. So almost everyone in this lineup, with the exception of Travis d'Arnaud and Nolan Shonowell, struck out today. Tim Anderson even got a hit there too. So you look at it, they went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They haven't really put on more than 5 guys in runners in scoring position on average or lower per game. So the fact they got to double digits, you don't want to see them going 2 for 11 going forward with runners in scoring position, but at least they're giving themselves that many chances. So we'll eventually get to a point where it's like, okay, we got to go 5 for 11, or we got to go 4 for 11, not go 2 for 11 or 1 for 11, but at least we're giving ourselves opportunities, which is something the Angels haven't done over the 7-game losing streak. The offense just takes a chill pill after the 3rd inning and they don't really adjust. The other team adjusts to them. And long story short, they just get in a rut and the Angels go down quietly. But tonight was a little bit different tonight. So it was the hitting, but now it's the bullpen. So hopefully this carries the momentum. Golfer over there on TikTok says, hopefully we can get this Moore up, or when's Moore going to be called up? You're going to need some time for him. I think as long as Renifo stays healthy, Kyron Paris stays healthy, Zach Neto stays healthy, and then with Tim Anderson and or Newman, I think you keep that core together unless Christian Moore is really tearing it up and this team's out of it by August or so. Maybe even July, you give him a shot. But right now, let Christian Moore continue to work on his game. As far as the pitching's concerned tonight, Hendricks 1-3 gets his first win. A great start, 7 2/3 innings, almost went a full 8. 1 run on 4 hits and 3 strikeouts. And see what happens when you had 2 good starts from the other day. You had a really good start from was it Anderson, and you had a nice one from Kikuchi, or actually Soriano, and then you had Kikuchi in there doing a good job. So by far they could have won all 3 of these games. The bullpen let them down along with the hitting the first 2, but at least the hitting got enough to get going, because again, the first 2 games against the Tigers, they scored 5 runs. Tonight they scored 5. And I think if they can get to over a threshold of 4 runs, the Angels really have a good chance of winning games. It's when they score 4 and under is when they struggle and they can't win games. So even though they struck out 10 times, they still have things to clean up. It's not, this one win is not going to solve all things. We went 1-0 today. Let's hope to go 1-0 tomorrow to try to stretch it out and tie the series, and then possibly before then move up a little bit more and get, take out the birds as we come to see. We'll see what happens. Jack says we won because Detmers didn't come in. That's kind of facts at this moment. But the Angels win tonight, a huge, huge win, because you didn't want to keep the losing streak going. And there was some rumblings going around. You heard some people say, hey, Ron Washington's message is getting lost on this team. They're not really following along, and that could be a problem moving forward. But, we'll have to see. But at least for tonight, things kind of calmed down. Stukas, we'll play it again, baby, because it's not very often we played this. Mastodon over there on TikTok says, my cousin used to be vice president of the Angels. Is that Tim Mead? If that's the case, maybe that's where we're at with that. But you had the Angels winning tonight. Let's talk about the, who got the award for, I guess, best player on the field. The John Stamos Award, presented to you by 714 Tickets. If you need tickets, why would you go to Vivid Seats? Why would you go to Ticketmaster? Why would you go to Game Time? They all have surcharges. So meaning if you get a ticket for $30, it's likely going to cost you, once you hit checkout and you get to checkout and you put your card information in there, it's going to be like $49, $52. You're paying like $22 for what? The ticket said $30. Well, not on 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get. If it's $30, it's 30 effing dollars. Then on top of it, you put HITI in the promo code and you get 10% off of that $30. So it's actually way cheaper than you looked at first. So Mastodon on TikTok does say, yes, his cousin was Tim Mead. So shout out Mastodon to you and Tim Mead. I liked when Tim Mead was with the organization. I think he's with a Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken on that one. But yeah, 714 Tickets is the place to go. Shout them out, and they'll shout you out with some nice tickets right there, courtesy of us. I'll have some tickets to give away for the Toronto series, so stay tuned for that for tomorrow's show. If you're on here for tomorrow, I'll have some tickets to give away. Plus, I'll have some tickets to give away, I think, for the Baltimore series, too. So there you go. Mastodon says he's no longer with the Hall of Fame either. I guess he was a consultant there for a little while. So the Angels winning, here we go with the John Stamos Award for best player on the field, and it goes to the John Stamos Award for best player on the field, and I will have to give it to, you can't bow down to anybody else tonight or tip your cap to anybody else on the Angels lineup. I mean, you could say for one of those 2-run singles, but I think you're going to give it to Kyle Hendricks tonight. 7 2/3, 1 run, 4 hits allowed, only 3 strikeouts, and the key, no walks. And so he was dominant tonight. 68 of his 102 pitches were for strikes. He was in and around the zone. He was pretty good tonight, and he got a lot of pitch-to-contact outs. Very easy innings for himself. That's what he's got to do to be consistently competitive out there. So kudos to him for getting the John Stamos Award. And real quick from TikTok again, I'll get to the messages for everybody else there on YouTube. 2 real quick. Also, Mastodon says he's not with the Hall of Fame anymore, Tim Mead. And as far as Ben Joyce is concerned, Ben Joyce is barely going to start pitching again this weekend. If he did not start already today, he's going to start tomorrow. He's been very cautious with that arm issue, the inflammation. That could be something that's going to lead you to, very soon getting a TJ, which no one wants to hear, but I just don't see it happening. Diego says, is Taylor Ward the best Halo of all time? If you mean by one of the worst, he's top 5. I think the way he swings, the way he even plays defense, although he made 2 good catches tonight, he always lets those flares fall right in front of him, and that's pretty annoying. Now to the worst player on the team, presented to you by Brewheim, where you can get the best alcohol beverages for the best prices. Their prices are very low, and they have one of the most chill spots in Anaheim. Check it out. It's over there right off of State College in Catella, right behind that big condominium right there. Walking distance to the stadium. Mention HITI and get yourself hooked up with 10% off of a drink courtesy of us. Those pints are a lot They taste a lot better when they're a lot cheaper. But it's good flavored beers right there in case you like it, that kind of thing. So Nacho Night, who gets the Nacho Night award?
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award presented to you by Brewheim goes to John Flaherty because, you could look at their lineup. They didn't have any guys with hat tricks as far as strikeouts. Detroit didn't have a walk at all tonight, so that was great. And Angel pitching did not issue a walk. That's another reason why they won. They pitched to contact tonight. So there was a few 0 for 3s, a few 0 for 4s on the Detroit Tigers, but credit to them, they didn't have that many strikeouts, and Flaherty had 5 runs in his at the end of his line in 5 2/3 on 8 hits, 4 of which were earned, 1 walk and 8 Ks. That's a decent start on most nights, but against the Angels, that's like giving up 15 runs. So you get Nacho Night. Wasn't your night tonight, Flaherty. You dropped to 1-4 as a starter with the Detroit Tigers second time around. I did like, though, in this game that you saw basically pitchers being, like old gut decisions there from the Tigers, like especially late in the game. They decided, hey, Brock Burke's still out there. We have a couple lefties to lead off. Let's pinch hit for them. Go righties. That's called matchups. That's not called StatCast. That's not called anything stupid. That's just called trends. It's glorified trends is what StatCast is. And they'll be like, well, Gibberish Z, he has the best HOY with. No, stupid. It's just the fact that these guys hit better against the left-handers, so they don't hit as good as they do against the left-handers. So you go with the righties who do hit good. That's called a trend. That's just being smart. So it's nice old school baseball. Analytics don't have to tell you that. Analytics do dumb things like, hey, this dude's raking against lefties. Let's keep the lefty against him. That's dumb. So you can see by the percentages. I like how it worked out tonight. Good way of thinking about things if you're a Detroit manager. And then the Angels didn't fuck it up tonight, which is something that we're not used to. So it was actually good, managing here tonight by Ron Washington, and the team came through with a nice victory right there. So with that being said, let's jump into our comments as we have a lot of them to get to tonight. First one's up right away, dude. Boo Bear's mama throws 50 bones at your boy. Super sticker. Hell yeah. Thank you so much right there. Boo Bear's mommy continues to be the MVP. And again, for all those chipping in, even Joshua right there with a $4.99 super sticker, you guys get first dibs at the end of the month when we have those hats and shirts, meaning those are going to you for free. So we're going to get all the emails together. We're going to get some addresses, and we're going to send them out to everybody that's been participating in the super stickers. Believe me, I've been writing them down. And then also you have a chances to win. We'll throw your names in a hat for some other kind of cool stuff that we have as far as like beer mugs and other junk that we have with the Angels stuff. They're not junk. It's cool stuff. I'm just saying. And then, so there you go. And then we have some other shirts and things that we can give away moving forward. But that stuff is going to be available for sale too at a cheaper price than you would get from any other podcast, any other show, or any other Angel stuff. We're going to have some really cool stuff to wear, some anti-Arty stuff. So keep on the look for that because we got a lot to go as we get through this month. So Rally Chris checks in with the first one leading off over there on YouTube and everything. He says, we finally won a game. Toast to Spritz to that 7-game losing streak. And if you don't know, you should know by now. Win or lose, baby, it's Spritz o'clock.
O'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Kyle Rawlings says, I think Ohapi is taking too many games off, even if Hendricks likes Travis behind the plate. You want to keep him in there. You don't want to take him off. That's for damn sure. And I'm hoping that doesn't continue. He needs to continue to be out there. Tony C checks in with $5 super sticker. As far as Rally Chris, too, he says, with a $9.99, thank you, says Angels scored 5 runs last time on Easter Sunday, and my buddy Daniel passed away on Easter Sunday. So Tigers, since the Tigers are from Michigan, he loves Michigan, and so he definitely was watching tonight. Go Angels. And, yeah, he was happy with the first 2 games. Let's get into the rest of these right now. Dan Rio says, Stukas and Spritz, but you're a little too late. Mike Trout checks in with, we're so back. Mateo says, we're so back. Marty, it's all Trent Rush. We're so back. Tyler also says 5 runs, still didn't feel safe at the end of the game. Q Lombardi. Yes, even Lombardi was a little scared.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also, you got Mike Trout saying we are World Series bound now. James Malou says balls, and Kyle Hendricks.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Kyle Hendricks. Also, Joe says, we're so back. Also, sorry for my Tigers Lions coworker who was at the game tonight. He got to see the loss. LV says, fuck it. The season starts tonight. And by the way, again, it was nice to meet him the other night.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
The Angels Suck says, let's fucking go. Next step, World Series, baby. Also, my name is Todd. I am a Fox. Mike Trout also says Locked On wins. LV says, we're so fucking back. Dan says, great seeing you tonight, Todd. Yeah, it was great seeing him as well. We were talking there for a bit. Tamir 20 says the Angels own Jack Flaherty. Tyler says, welcome to Lock On Post Game. Jesus says, must be the Melinda effect. Or Mandela effect, that victory wasn't supposed to happen. Also, the Angels' grandma says the losing streak is finally over. LV says also Tigers got a taste of that yummy tasting nut. Wait, you mean this guy?
On everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
No, how about no? So we continue to tell him no, but he keeps trying to tell us to have a yummy tasting nut. Dan says, and having a laugh with your girl. Yeah, they were making fun of me for being a Seahawks fan. Don says, great win to the end of the streak. Hendricks was lights out tonight. It was really good to see. Tyler says the prodigal Stukas return. Also, in a sea of sorrow where hopes seemed to fade, the Angels shocked everyone. Their magic displayed. With a swing and a cheer, they turned a loss into a parade. I love it. Love it. Keep those rhymes coming. Rally Chris says, let's check in on left. He's still talking about nuts. So there you go. Let's see. Rogers silently says Roger is furiously honking his honk tonight with the Stamos, baby. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight. Yes, it is. The season starts tonight. Kind of feeling tonight.
Call me a bootlicking houseman all you want. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, he doesn't give a damn. And how dare you?
How dare you?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
LV says Halo's winning tomorrow. Also, you can take that to the bank and deposit it, baby. He's following that Ron Washington. And Grillmaster says, yes, we won. We freaking won. Also, Jesus says time to get the shit face like Artie to this win tonight. Woohoo! And also, Joe says I'm honking it tonight. So he's over there in the corner going. That's how it sounds. Marty says, and people say we suck. What the hell are we? Why the hell are we so wrong about these doubters? Dan says, did you leave early? How is Whittier closer than Huntington Beach? Traffic, baby. It only takes me about 20 to 22 minutes to get home. LV says, finally got to honk my honk. It felt so nice. He's all catch and release, baby. There you go. Mateo says, what kind of food is served at the barbershop? Cold cuts. Oh, God. See, we start winning and we get the dad jokes. Andrew says, we won. Hell yeah, we won tonight. Big victory tonight.
Wow, winning.
Yeah, because this team does not like to win very much, but when it does, it feels so good. So where's that one I'm looking for right now? Damn it. There it is again. There's like always 3 or 4 that, get by me here on this system. Because it used to be I had these separate and going on, on a StreamYard, they changed everything.
We won?
The Angel Sucks says the professor might not speak another negative word about him again, meaning our boy Hendricks got the victory tonight. Marty says if you don't celebrate the win with a yummy tasty nut, then you're not a true hunk. Yeah, you're a hunk that lives up like in Sherman Oaks in that area, or North Hollywood, and roots for UCLA. Rally says Angels please win tomorrow to get at least a split after the first two embarrassing losses. I'm all for that. Already did the we won stuff here, Saucy and Grillmaster. Marty says when Jansen came in, I must say I wasn't so overly confident for the victory. Also, she haloed on my honk till I spritz. Wait, hold on. The rim shot didn't come out. There you go. Much better. Sometimes it stalls. Yes. Also, Saucy said they struck out a ton tonight, but had a bunch of hits. Yeah, they had 10 hits, which was surprising. And 10 strikeouts, and we still won. Lombardi wants to know what's going on.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, exactly. Also, they already checked in with Boo Boo Bears right there. Alex wants to know when's the next tailgate. It's this Saturday. It's going to be at Bruheim for all you guys and gals and families that want to come out and toast the spritz with us. And then also have some good food there, have some games and a chance to win some prizes. That'd be nice to come out and win some tickets on me. And 714 tickets. Time for another beer right now. Darno got 3 hits. Q Lombardi, I don't think he had 3 yet, too.
What the hell's going on out here?
Let's see. Also, Saucy says it's hard to get excited for one goddamn win, but perhaps a little win streak can come together. Maybe. Also, the Stukas deserves a big sticker, and I appreciate that. Also, Don Hammond says this is how the offense has to play if they want to be competitive again. That was a solid and refreshing rally to see. Not much trying, not trying to do too much. Taking what the pitcher gives you and get hits. Yes, put the barrel of the bat on the ball and see what happens. Saucy says Kyle Hendricks pitched like his career was on the line, and because it probably was. Tyler says seeing Paris get a hit, honestly, such a relief. He's had 3 hits in his last 2 games, which is nice to see. Dan says, I think Darno is now the quarterback of the Sea Chickens, right, Todd? We're winning the West. Moving on, Saucy says Moncada taking rehab games of the 66ers. I know he sucks, but the other guy sucks a tad harder, in my opinion. Hurry back. Marty says, cool, the Jets were getting hammered to tomorrow, 12-3. Salini says, Boo Bear's mommy knows what's up and decides to support the real anchor of the Angels franchise. Heedy is the good thing about Angels baseball, even when we get meaningless wins like this. And you know what, Salini? Again, if you haven't seen his stuff on Substack, please give him a follow, a subscribe over there. Give us a follow and subscribe. He does good writing for Halos in the Infield over there, and he's going to have another article out here soon. Joe says, she tigered on my dingler till I light that baby up. Boy, he's getting a lot of play with his honk tonight. It sure is. Don Hammond says Moncada started rehab tonight with Inland Empire, had 2 walks. Also, probably struck it out 14 times and lose tomorrow in a handful. See, I'm just going to say Narrow says we need bats now. Yes, we need a lot of bats. Guys who make contact. That's what we need for this team to get going. Joshua says, we're so back. Alex says, how dare you think until Christian Moore gets a shot, Todd. I think Algieri will, or Ligra, I forget how you say his name, Aldagheri or something, will be a good ad for the rotation. I do too. I really do think so. Joe says, follow me at Halo Reaching. Well, we will do that, Joe. We will definitely follow you back once I get off here. Saucy says, season starts tonight, baby. Roger Lodge knows what he's talking about.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight. If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up.
Patrick says, why are we still here just to suffer? Joshua says, take one game at a time. That's all you can. Joe says, the winning streak starts tonight. Eric Ward says, I'll take the win. No complaints tonight other than Ward needs to shine the bench with his ass. Dude is worthless. Go Halos. He is worthless. I am telling you, that guy sucks. Tyler says, I want to be by winning tomorrow. We win here, we win there. Yeah, it's not bad to be a little by winning.
I'm by winning.
I win here and I win there. Now what?
Exactly. Now what? Alex says, man, the vibes are just different when the Halos get a win. You cherish that shit, man. You do. And then Grillmaster says, running up my butt right now. So he's always calling for this one, man. It's Roger being very, very inappropriate.
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old
Balls and running up my butt right now.
you get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
Choked on me.
He was so great.
Yes, the season starts tonight as well. So Roger always has a lot to say about his boy that he got his career from, John
We got
Stamos.
a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Wu says, hell must have froze over. The Angelitos spread their wings today. Nice win. Grillmaster says, this is a ground ball to second base. While it's going to second base, let's take a drive with Kia. Don says, Sam Bachman has started to pitch simulated games, so it looks like he's progressing well. Boy, it is literally cross your fingers anytime you get any kind of Bachman news. Tyler says, Halos must have had a priest visit the clubhouse to get rid of that demonic presence of number 6. Absolutely. Silent E says, the Tigers just can't win without Dingler's dingers. I'm telling you, Dingler for Hall of Fame at the and Detroit will retire the number 13 Dingler for Stamos. Yeah, we had Master Boney in Seattle, Dingler in this series. I wonder who's coming in for Toronto. Boo Bear's mommy says, I am so glad at least the rest of the day the pitching didn't blow it. Also, you got I would like a ticket for Saturday's game, please, Todd, wherever you sit with Jim. Thanks a ton. I'll work on that for you, my man. Silent E says, anytime the lineup that has Master Boney or Dingler in it automatically gains 10% to their win probability. Those are names that inspire fear in the hearts of the greatest players. Also, Angels Suck says, if anyone has not called a spritz, it's spritz o'clock. Well, we did that very early in the show. Joe says, going to San Diego myself. Any honks going? I'm actually going Monday. I thought I was going Wednesday, but I am going there Monday, so that should be pretty cool. Saucy says, when is the next thingy, tailgate, watch party, etc.? That's going to be this Saturday at Bruheim. It's going to be the tailgate, and then we're going to walk our way over or just drive over to the stadium, however you want to do it, or even park at Noble and then walk over. And then we're going to have a tailgate tailgate in memoriam for Yvette Villa, which will be on the 24th under the Big A. And we'll be doing a celebration of her life with her family and stuff. And she was a big Angels fan on here. She died tragically as the season started. So hopefully, we're dedicating our show to her for the rest of the year. And hopefully you guys can come by, say hi to the family. We'll have some food there. We'll have some set up. And then we'll do something nice over there. And then for the game, we're actually going to go back to Bruheim. You can either go to the game or come with us over to Bruheim, where we're going to be calling the game. It's likely going to be me and Dominique on the mic, and we're going to be doing a live play-by-play of the Angels and Marlins through that game moving forward. So you have that to look forward to if you guys want to participate with us. Alex says, looks like the Tigers had a yummy tasting nut tonight. They sure did. James Cano says, I still think we should be major sellers at the deadline. Zephyr John should get us a good prospect or two. Anderson and Ward could be gone to FRD. Time to rebuild. I'm all for it, but will it happen? Not really. I have to see it to believe it. But that's a good point. Silent E said, someone commented on my noodle arm post and said Ward is the best hitter in our lineup. I sure hope that they were kidding, but sadly, I don't think they were. Noodle arm, Dumble ears Ward at the first. That guy can't throw anybody out, and he's a waste of a bat right now. Would anybody even trade for Ward at this point? He's been complete rotting garbage all season. Tony C says the Angels players were told today to come in an hour later. They said the Angels were not taking batting practice. Also, get Ward out of the cleanup spot already. The Angels did a lot of things right tonight. JL says, do you think the Angels can string 8 or 10 wins in a row? They seem to lack energy on a daily basis. Well, you answered your own question there, JL. I can see them winning 5 or 6 in a row max. They won 4 in a row as bad as they were last year. That was their max. So I think 5 or 6 would be their max this year. We've already seen they can go on a 7-game losing streak. So I'm hoping things change. I'm hoping they could string some things together, especially while the pitching is kind of hot right now, at least the starting pitching. Mateo says Ron Washington said that there's no need for team meetings anymore. He said they're tired of team meetings and said right now, I don't believe they're playing terrible baseball. Well, to me, that's translation. He's lost the team. I really think he's lost the team right now. And no, I'm not going shirtless anytime soon. Useless Trucker says the Angels pulled off a win, much to our surprise. Fans blinked in confusion like it was some grand disguise. Do we just score runs? Quick, check the skies. Looking for more home runs. Grillmaster also says, so that's what winning feels like. It's been a long time, 50 years in between seasons or that we won. Don Hammond says getting a couple of these bullpen arms and back from injuries could potentially help us protect leads in late games. It's not just also protecting leads, it's keeping this game close. Grillmaster says Ohapi isn't playing because he's having too much sex. Saucy says this team deserves a golden dong tonight, bro. Yeah, I got to get that song back. Salini says Artie's baby ass hand in the Spritz O'Clock video has me rolling. Joe Jr. says, congrats, Todd, and my diehard Angels fan son, Joseph. There you go. Congrats. Appreciate it, too. Also, Rally Chris checks in with me. Love you long time. That's Roger.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny, and me love you long time.
Yeah, and then you have our boy here saying, hi, my name is Gavin. And how about a yummy tasting nuts? And then he does this. Where is it? See, I got to learn to hit these on the freaking hook, because if I don't hit them on the hook, it doesn't sound right. So there it is. Okay, so Gavin loves
these nuts. Got him. Got him.
Don Hammond says, just curious, Todd, did you get your nickname from the movie Fox and the Hound? Absolutely. That's why I play that clip all the time. My mom actually, that movie came out, I think I want to say about a month or two before I was born. And my mom said, no, he's Todd Fox, like, so that's where she got the name from. Spritz O'Clock right there by Stezio. JL says we need a new manager with energy and testosterone, which we don't have it. Papa Fox was happy, but pissed off he didn't go to the game tonight. He actually said, no, I don't want to go after last night, which I didn't blame him. Boo Boo Bear's mommy says, I'm so happy the Angels can play. The Angels play the way they can play, like they did tonight. Useless Trucker says, if you curve baseball rants that are funny and neat, tune into Heedy. It's the podcast treat. Like and subscribe, or Todd might hit the street. Yeah, how I hit it is the question. Dan Rio says, how'd you like the national anthem? It was nice. It was nice, and I believe your family was a part of that. Also, do you think Wash has full control of the lineup, or is it scripted out by the front office? I think there's two sides of that story. I think he's recommended a lot. He's pushed a lot to put certain players in certain parts of the lineup. And I think he's also made a couple dumb decisions himself. Also, winning Q Charlie. So you got people saying the by winning thing.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
And by the way, you had 10 Deos tonight. Yep, 10 Deos tonight, which is not something I'm too happy with. But
wow, winning.
It doesn't matter when you win. Also, Mateo said tonight, why was the baseball glove loving the summer Florida weather? Because it kept catching rays. This guy. Also, Dingle couldn't dingle all the way to victory. Todger Lodge, how dare you? Hey, what is Roger saying tonight? Roger's probably like, hey, can we get more hits like that tonight? Because the home runs are nice, but there was no Ohapi out there shining up his nipples with a walk-off home run. No Adele. I needed to see more home runs tonight. Ricky also says, you think we could flip Adele and Ward to Detroit for anything? Their defense might actually be better than Detroit's. Those guys would be available for sure. They would be available for sure. And I think the closer we get to the deadline, we can see who's where they're supposed to be. Because I guarantee you, even if the Angels get going a bit, they're just not going to make the playoffs this year. The best we can do, I think, is to get to 500. And for right now, we're gonna lose a couple pieces, no doubt. But it's who we get back to build for the future. Breaking news: a fight was started downtown by a man wearing a suit made of mirrors. Police say that they had time to apologize when he had time to sit down and reflect. That was too long of a joke. Jail says, what about bringing in Matt Holiday, Yachty, or Shoemaker? Again, I'd want someone to have. I want those guys to, like, if you're gonna bring in Shoemaker, have those guys as bench coaches along with him so that they could learn how to coach and then eventually take the rings from there. Dan Rio says, I nearly forgot. Me so horny. Me love you long time. Also, Joe says, Joey, let's go tailgating. And Mikey, you too. Joe says, you are now listening to the Sports Lodge with Todd Dodger Lodge. How dare you? How dare you get me mixed up with that guy, man? How dare you?
How dare you?
Also, the Tigers couldn't read Detmer's silently. He says, I'm working on breaking down of April right now. We weren't as good as we appeared to be in those first few weeks, but honks were honking their honks, and it looked like it was going to happen. The Angels always angeled in ways. Also, you have Eric says, Todd, I'm taking both of my boys to the Houston game on 6/21 Shonawell bobblehead night. We need to meet up. My oldest kid loves you, man. I will be there. Again, any kind of bobblehead, any kind of game, most games except for this Sunday's game, I'll be at. So come by and say hi on 260 or we'll hang out for sure. Hi, I'm Grillmaster. I'm Locked On Podcast. Also, the pitching change is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Might as well play that since he's calling that out. Underdog Fantasy, let's give you the scoop on that. 30 seconds.
Hey, Todd, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Underdog app sponsored by Halos in the Infield. Actually, you can punch in HITI and get the promo code 20% earnings on your first bet via Underdog, the app. And also, they match 50% up to $1,000 winnings if you place bets. You can put them on players. You can put it on teams. It's a nightly thing. It's so easy to play, but also gamble responsibly. All because of Halos in the Infield and Underdog, the app. Trout, we'll be back soon. August. Joe says 714 tickets. Also, Joe checking in. The other Joe says, hey. Gerard said, nice to see Parrish shorten up his swing for freaking once, not jumping out of his shoes. He also says, dude has been punching air. He after his hot start. And he had, again, 3 hits in his last 5 at bats were really nice. Although our launch angles and our velo exits weren't the liking of Gooby, we lit that baby up tonight. We're so back. And Andrew says, light that baby up, I guess. Also, Don Hammond says, those damn Blue Jays haven't been great all year, but watch them play out of their mind against us. And that's one thing we always have to pause right there. Also, Mateo says, I spritzed in my burrito. That is disgusting. MLA says, hey, we won tonight. Todd, you have to talk Spanish. So here we go. Hopefully I don't kill it. No pinches mamas way a la verga way. I'm so terrible. I apologize to all my Mexican brethren and sisterin. Also, Angel Grandma hates the dong song. Dan Real says, you did say no confidence with Wash. Please elaborate on that. Okay, so there was that article about him not saying anything as far as wanting to do any more meetings. Apparently, they've had too many meetings, and the players are kind of not really listening. So we have to see what happens here moving forward. So what do you call it? Jesus Christ. Over here, I got kicked off on TikTok right now. It said for gambling because I played that promo. That is ridiculous. So they killed the stream over on TikTok. Thank you very much, TikTok. It says live access suspended. You can go live and join us May 6th. I'm so sorry. So if you're on TikTok, we just got pushed offline because it says you're pushed off till May 6th. So that would be 3 days from now. So we will not have a post game on TikTok. So if you were interested in being on TikTok, we'll have to do that another time. Thank you so much, TikTok. So now I know I can't play that Underdog promo because apparently I'm encouraging people to gamble. So we just lost a few people over there because of that. I appreciate that, TikTok. That's why that's kind of bullshit. getting back to it, Ron Washington has had too many meetings, and I think that they are starting to tune him out a little bit, and that's going to be a problem moving forward. If he's already lost the clubhouse, if these players start doing things on their own, not good news. Joshua says, any Stevenson news? Stevenson is still due back. He's had some rehab assignments that have worked, or at least throwing sessions that look good. The rehab assignment should be starting soon, sometime here in May. There's a possibility of him being back sometime in June, but the original diagnosis was early July. Also, Marty says, Wash said tonight's win showed that we are running down the West. Also, did we lose today? No, we won. Don says, so cool about your nickname, and I love that movie. It's a classic. It is, dude, and it's a tearjerker on top of it. It's such a great movie, put together well. It doesn't end great. Spoiler alert for a movie that's like over 40 years old. But yeah, I love that movie too. It's a great movie, but it is a tearjerker. Playoffs? What do you mean playoffs? You kidding me? And yeah, playoffs are not something the Angel fans should be talking about right now, but it's still something that you want to shoot for next year and at least get somewhat close this year to where you're kind of flirting with it. That was the whole thing. You know, can we flirt with the playoffs? Can we get close? And
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Marty says, I wonder what Big Hammer is, where he got his name from. I kind of don't. Also, Useless Trucker says, use 714 tickets. I got my ticket for $6. Also, Angel Suck says, hey, the Angels might not suck. Let's see if we can string some wins together. I heard Terry Smith was pretty upset tonight without any home runs. Last seen slamming the AM 830 van and shouting, I'm out of here. Grimmaster says, I'm master boning my dingler with a win tonight. Honks must be pissed. No homers. Boo Bear's mommy says, my next tickets I'll get from 714 tickets. 714 tickets. Also, the Chinese don't gamble. Apparently not. Boo Bear's mommy says, that's why I prefer YouTube. And Todd suspended for gambling, just like Ippei taking the fall for Exotani. It's crazy how that works, huh? It just up and got me right there, sent me a thing, and I appealed it right away. But I have a feeling they're going to uphold that. It's pretty stupid, you know. Like it's literally everybody talks about their gambling sponsor. Most of these podcasts have them, and yeah, the one time I've played it recently, and they're going to freaking get me for that. Marty says, boys aren't listening to Wash anymore, busy on their cell phones. Dan says, good thing your mom didn't give you the name Snow White. Yes, that is pretty terrible. I mean, again, I'm glad that came around the Todd Fox, you know, the whole deal with Fox and the Hound, because again, it was a great movie. So there you go. Phones are the best we got going on is the StreamYard link. If you want to jump in on StreamYard, just copy paste that link and jump in, and then we'll get you going right there. After review, the call on the field stands. So with the game, getting back to it real quick, the Angels win 5-2 on 10 hits. They actually have double the hits that they have runs, which is still nice. They pressured a bit. They stole a couple bases. That was nice. All in all, this is what you want to do. This is how you want to play. You're not going to get these performances all the time. Again, you've gotten 3 straight quality of starts, and you were only able to pull 1 win. That's troubling. That's because your offense can't get it going. And then the bullpen's very shaky. Guys are not in specific roles. These guys are creatures of habit. So if you have a 7th inning guy, fine. If you have an 8th inning guy, fine. Keep them that way. Don't dick with them when a 6-run lead or a 6-run deficit or in the 4th inning, stuff like that. Don't do that. And if they have a guy that's going to be the long man, let him in there. Leave him in there. Don't take him out after 1 inning or 3 players. Where's Drunk Artie? I don't know tonight. Also, Todd doing a live game would be really fun. And we're going to be doing that because we did about like 5 or 6 of those last year. They were over at Mezzo. I did that with mostly Dominique. And then we did one from here in the studio too. I have a TV above my cameras right here, and also above the screens, so we're able to watch the game live. But doing it at freaking Bruheim would be even better because, you know, you have a lounge area. So unlike where you were sitting on bar stools over at Mezzo, At Bruheim, you got couches, you got recliners, and you got nice little chairs and seats that's in one room. So the earlier you get there, the easier the access is for you to sit there. Like, we're going to be in front of a table. We're going to have Jenga. We're going to have tic-tac-toe. There's going to be games as far as if you beat somebody straight up in a game of cornhole. So we're going to have that there. So it's going to be all around fun and good times for that kind of game. And then we're going to talk to fans during breaks in the action, as we're going to have the stats up, giving you live play-by-play, giving you our thoughts on the game as we go along. So hopefully all of you can tune in and enjoy that kind of presentation, as we'll be calling that game with the Marlins. We plan on doing about maybe 4 or 5 of those this year as well. Not only with that Marlins game, but just talk baseball and get your feelings moving forward. So it should be good. Should be really good. So Boo Boo Bear's mommy checks in. How you doing tonight, girl?
Very good. Thank you so much. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. It's always better after a victory. I don't have to yell and blow out my voice.
I know. We don't have to see that big, huge vein coming out of your neck.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's because I wasn't there. So you're welcome.
Come on. Yeah, it's because they actually played real baseball tonight. You know, they got the hits.
Absolutely. I was really sorry that I thought about getting a ticket, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Not tonight. I'm just going to let it be. And I didn't go. And so I missed it. So, but that's okay, because I was watching it watching the score on my phone. And so, and I was just really happy. But I started thinking that you might have to enter the studio without your shirt on, and then to reverse that curse, because ever since you took your shirt off, we went into a tailspin. But luckily they won. You didn't have to do that.
Well, see, what I might have to do is do the Chris Farley thing from Saturday Night Live. Do what was it called, the strip dance that he did when he was. Yeah, I might have to come in like that. I'm less hairy, thankfully, than that dude was, but yeah, I think I might have to come in without the shirt if they were to get a losing streak going again. Because
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because
we would have to find. Oh. Wouldn't it be? It would be fantastic if you could get that guy from Dancing with the Stars, the really hot guy from Dancing with the Stars, on there to be the Patrick Swayze version.
I wouldn't know anybody from those shows. No offense, it's just that those weren't my jam.
Oh, well, it was my jam. I'm a girl. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine, but sometimes I'm ashamed to. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I watched when my girl, what do you call it, 90 Day Fiance. So I mean,
there you go. You know what? You have to. If it's your girl, you have to.
It's good stuff. What can I say? I mean,
okay.
We're watching You on Netflix too, so
yeah,
killer story. So, but it was a good win tonight. I mean,
it was a great win. Well, it was a good win. It was a good win. I was getting a little concerned in the 9th inning when they were putting people on base, and they came out of it with the win. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, I agree. It was a good win. I wouldn't call it a great win though.
Yeah, you're right. Cause I mean, I came in there just thinking, okay, I had no confidence in Hendricks tonight. So it was just let's see what happens. And thankfully he put up a lot of zeros tonight, and he got the job done.
Yeah, that is absolutely phenomenal. And you know what? I'm going to let you go so you can take other calls. But hey, guys, I don't know if they can see me or not, but I'm waving.
Hold on. Let me get you on here right now. There you go.
There we go. There we are. This is Boo Boo Bear's mommy famously getting Todd out of his shirt. So.
Yeah, as long as you don't get me out of something else, we can keep
No.
There you go.
No. That was enough. That was, I think enough people had nightmares. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing you. I'm kidding.
That's it. I'm going on a diet.
Anyway, you have a very good night, and yay, Angels won. Let's win tomorrow too.
Absolutely. Let's split the series with Detroit.
Absolutely. Anyway, so you take care. Bye, everybody.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
There's Boo Bear's mommy checking out right there. You got Botched Investigation saying the Angels are 1-0 this season. Whoop, whoop. So his opening day went great tonight. Well, we'll take it. Hell yeah. Got the
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Silent E also says the new Neckhead episode was priceless. Botch says AM 830 has a caller from Long Beach and did not say her name, but she was a cringe caller. Even Roger was left speechless. Oh, great. Silent E says I'd take Todd in a thong over Roger in a thong. Just say, oh, jeez. I don't want to think about that either. What up, bro? What the fuck? We won? Yes, we did. What up, OC Raiders in the house right there. He's the coolest Raider fan I know. He's the one that from a couple seasons ago talked shit to, I think it was last year, talked shit to, what's his name? Artie Moreno and the brass right there as they were walking into Anaheim Stadium. He's a legend still. I don't think I forgot that. Let's go 2-0 tomorrow, season tomorrow. Also, Grillmaster says, hi, I'm Todd Fox. I like, no. You're not going to get me to read that. Almost. But yeah, and I'm sorry for those on TikTok. We had quite a few over there that got booted off, and it looks like we won't be back till, let's see if I do my math right, 4 or 5 till Wednesday. So, and that's if they allow it on Tuesday on the 6th, actually, to get back on. But it'll be Wednesday. So now I know not to play the underdog thing, especially if I'm running over on TikTok. So I guess they're still upset about that. Dan says Artie is lucky to have a Raider fan that doesn't shank him. We were just talking about that tonight. Botch says, hey, Todd, did something happen to the Angels and Pirates pitcher the other day? What happened with the Angels and Pirates pitcher? The fan, the only thing I know about is the fan, the Pirates fan that fell. As far as the pitchers and the Pirates and Angels, I don't remember anything happening with that. Let's see. I want to see what happened with that fan because I do know he fell. And let's see. Yeah, let's see. 20-year-old man warning on the track. He's awake and alert. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He fell from the 21-foot wall. That fan, like he did, crack his skull. He was in critical condition, but man, it looks like he might make it. So that's good. That's good news if he's alert. Because obviously when you crack your skull like that, they got to take a piece out because your brain is like, it's like hemorrhaging and it could kill you if it puts too much pressure on your skull. And so they had to do some really, really crazy surgery. Okay, the fan it was, but did the Pirates and Angels get chippy with each other? No, they didn't. I didn't see that. There was a few things said, but it was nothing chippy like it was the other day with Detroit. Also, OC Raider says, love the recap. The man, the legend, the man of the Halo faithful, Todd motherfucking Fox. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I try to do what I can on this channel, and shout out to everybody that's been on and following us from day one all the way to here. But yeah, that's the video of that is truly scary of that guy falling, dude. He had way too many beers and his feet got tangled in the rail and he just flipped himself over. And it's a miracle that he's still alive because it was touch and go right there. They didn't think he was going to make it, but it looks like, I mean, if he's alert and well, he may have some rehab coming up, a lot of rehab, but he's going to make it. So it's just a dumb decision. And that's sometimes, I mean, look, it's a miracle this stuff doesn't happen more in baseball stadiums. I mean, obviously a few years ago, Josh Hamilton throwing the ball into the stands, that father falling in front of his son about the similar style of feet, about 20 or 18 feet down below. He landed on his head. He died in front of his son. Imagine traumatizing your son like that. And Josh Hamilton being, responsible. And that's the way That's one of the reasons, not that can happen here, but one of the reasons why they do not have players throw the balls in the fans here at Angel Stadium. If you notice carefully, they throw the balls to the ball boys and the ball boys give it to the fans. I guess it's to stop the fighting too, because you're not going to fight over a ball that comes from a ball boy like you would fight over a player throwing one straight to a fan. So with that being said, look at who's on here from all the way from Japan. Silent E, everybody. How's it going, my man?
Another day. Glad we got
Another
a good win or a win today. I don't know if I'd call it good, but
what time is it over there? Just curious.
2:53 p.m.
So 2:53 p.m. This game started what, around 9 in the morning for you?
Something like that. Yeah. Around 10:30.
So 10:30 in the morning. So when they start a game like at 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 p.m. here, that's what? Whereabouts is that? Like
3 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Yikes, man.
I sometimes I wake up for those. Sometimes I don't.
I don't blame you. Does work allow you to do that?
They're okay if I'm listening. If I'm watching, obviously. I mean, that's big, no. But I usually have a headphone in, listen to AM 830 go on. And I mean, honestly, I think they're better than the TV broadcasters.
Oh, I totally agree. I think Gooby a couple years ago was great because for those that were with the show for a few years, Gooby would call in for the first year or two. You know, we get him on the way home to his Thousand Oaks where he lived, and he would call in and be like, "Hey, great pitching matchup there tonight. My thoughts on the game were this," and he would just take over the interview, and I'd just let him talk. You know, like he was cool. But once we started dicking with the other announcers, he kind of backed off. So now
every time I look at Mark Langston and his baseball reference, I always wonder, why isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he was fringe. I think with him, you got to look who he pitched for. I think he probably would have gotten in, especially with the Veterans Committee, if he would have won like 1 or 2 titles. But the teams he played for, mostly I think it was the Mariners and Angels. So those teams exactly weren't winners in the 80s and 90s.
He also never led the league in any major categories.
Correct.
Which doesn't help either.
So that was more of a career that was longevity. You know what I mean? Numbers.
Either way, I wish that he would talk more like he knows what he's talking about, because to a degree, I think he does.
No, he does. I mean, if you listen to him, the way he breaks down pitchers, or he'll get critical. That's why I think him and Terry work so good together. Terry will, you could tell in his voice, and he gets super animated when the team's doing really good. And then he'll just be like, well, they didn't come through here and they got to do better in this inning. And then Langston's like, yeah, they're not really hitting the ball all that great. And, they got to turn around. They have a good ebb and flow, whether the game's good or bad. He gets really animated. And of course, Terry's like, oh, it's a high fly ball. He gets super excited too. So it works out with them. I'm with you. I don't think it works really good with Wayne and Gooby. They contrast each other too many times.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It's when I looked at because I didn't get to watch today's game. It's in the middle of my day. I'm doing stuff with the family. So I always look at the breakdowns on MLB.com. And from what I could see today, they were swinging at less stuff outside of the zone. And a lot of the hits they were getting was stuff in the zone. So it's pretty crazy. And the launch angles, too, weren't 40, 50 degrees when they're hitting these balls.
Yeah, I mean, those doubles, especially the one that Darno hit, the one that Paris hit, I mean, they were clean. They were really clean. And Darno put some down the line. It was really nice. So, you like for them to do, and he went the other way too. And Shonawell's hits were great. They're flares. So we don't need this whole launch angle thing. I think they got too carried away with that.
Yeah, this whole StatCast analytics thing, I mean, it's great, but I just don't think at least the Angels are using it properly. You use it to plan for what's ahead. You don't use it for in-game decisions. At least tonight, they looked like they were on offense, back to basics, and that's nice to see.
Yeah, and we need to see more of that. I mean, look, I am probably the guy saying get off my lawn when it comes to Statcast, but I know there's a time and place for it. I just think, like you said, it's being overused too much in the Angels organization.
Yeah.
So, Silent,
Well,
what's your next article about, my man?
So I'm breaking down April right now. That'll probably be out for me tonight, but for you guys should be in the morning tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, and put it out there. I'll share it to the other pages because, again, if you haven't subscribed to Substack, I implore you guys to do so. He puts out some amazing articles.
Yeah, we weren't as good as we thought in that first stretch where we were winning. What our performance was not sustainable, and where we are at now, we were going to get here at some point if we didn't make changes. They didn't make changes, and look at what happened.
Yep. Agreed. But I appreciate it, Sonny. I got Stir Boogie on the other line. We'll get together here soon, and you got to let me know one of these days you come over from Japan, and we'll get together, and tickets on me, my man.
No, yeah. If that ever happens, you'll be the first to know.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. That'll be cool.
See you.
All right, brother. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. That's Silent E over there from Japan. Stir Boogie checks in, aka the Angels Suck on Twitter. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. I might change the name to the Angels Might Not Suck or the Angels Don't Suck, bro. I'm feeling great tonight. I'm feeling like Next Stop World Series. I'm feeling like great vibes. I'm feeling like I got to bring my son to every game from now on. Like he's the good luck charm. We were on the Jumbotron tonight. That was badass. It was cool.
Yeah,
But,
that's pretty
yeah.
nice, man. I mean, if that can be your thing, he's your good luck charm. Well, I'm like, why not, dude? Because this team needs any kind of luck it can get.
For real, we're going tomorrow for sure. Dragging him there. Nah, he wants to go to every game. He's always asking, "Hey, are the Angels playing tonight?" You know, it's awesome. Yeah, but bro, a couple things stood out. Ward has gone 0 for his last 26.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. That was our first 5-run game in 20 games. And Rangifo leads the team with runners in scoring position with a 438 average with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, isn't that a trip? Because he's one of the few guys that strikes out with runners in scoring position. So, you know, it's really what we want to see. You got to get some runs in. You got to pressure the opponent, and you know, as long as they could do that, good things will happen. I mean, you're not always going to do good, but there's an opportunity where you can just get a bloop. You don't need a blast, and a bloop, if you have guys on, can really mess the other team up in their innings. So,
yeah, that collision in the what was it? I think it was Paris that knocked in d'Arnaud.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was nice to see that other teams can fuck up sometimes.
Yeah, because I'm used to seeing it only us being the case, and then like you said, you get kind of jaded, and you're like, "Damn it, dude! Like, how come that can't happen?" So when it actually happened, it was nice tonight. Like you said. And but I'm telling you, I wasn't feeling too good about it. Only a 1-run game again because we obviously saw what happened last night.
No, bro. The lights went off, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Don't tell me they're bringing in Jansen," because I wasn't looking at the screen on who they were warming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lights went off, and I was like, "Damn, I have a bad feeling about this." But it's like, you know what? It can't happen 2 nights in a row. He's not gonna fuck up that much.
No, and then it was tripping a little bit too because there was a couple pitchers that were talking to the umpires afterwards, and then when Jansen got the line drive to Neto to end the game, he walked right over to the umpire, and they had words, and then we saw d'Arnaud get in between him and the umpire. And then Ron Washington walked over there and was just like, you know, talking to him for a second. And then they kind of went over to the normal, hey, you know, line up and high five each other. Because he was not going to the players for high fives. He went straight to the ump. So he must have not have liked something too.
Damn, I didn't even notice that. I just saw the W and I was
Yeah.
The fireworks suck when there's not a W, bro.
Oh yeah. You
It's like, why
kind
are
of
we doing this?
you want to get out of there and enjoy the fireworks with a W, and just feels like I said earlier, um, just going out there and when you get the win, walking down the ramp, you're high fiving other fans or people are not pissed off. They're not like talking crap.
Yeah.
You're actually having a good time.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It was a great night. Great night.
It was. Real quick, Jack Chandler says not working. If you click on the link, or just copy and paste it, it's sort of like an invite. You'll pop up right here, and I could put you on. It's actually easier than the phone number. So,
Yeah, for anybody on X, just let you know, go to YouTube and find the link.
yeah. Oh, it's on the YouTube side. Okay.
Yeah.
But Joshua says the strike zone was horrible tonight, so that could have been it. Because those guys talk in between innings, so they're hearing the conversations from the dugout on the phones too. So, and I'm pretty sure the pitching coach in the dugouts, in communication with Barry in the dugout as well from the bullpen, I should say. So that's probably what happened, and they weren't pretty happy about everything that went on tonight. So they let the umpires know, but they got to remember they got them tomorrow too. So hopefully he didn't piss them off too much.
Ooh, is it always the same home plate umpire, like for the series?
No, for the series they rotate them, but it's just the
Okay.
same crews, and they know they're going to talk. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah.
12:30 game. We're not on ESPN's Sunday night of the game, right?
Dude, we literally have, I believe, I want to say only 11 nationally televised games.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a far cry from when we had Otani. I think we were on there one time like 30 times or 40. So without Otani and with Trout not being able to be trusted to be in the lineup, yeah, they weren't really going to give us that many games.
Hey, again, everybody steps up with Trout outside of the lineup. If these were 7-inning games, we would have had a sweep right now, right? Like,
yeah, we would have won the series tonight. So, yeah. Oh man.
Fuck, man.
Well, I won't be there tomorrow, so I won't be able to say hi, but bring your son because
sure.
obviously it worked.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll talk more too, dude, because we can probably work some more business out a little bit later. Some other stuff has come up. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cheers to that, man. And thanks for having me on again, bro.
Yeah, anytime, awesome. Man.
Cheers
hit
to
me
the
up
W.
whenever, and then we'll get a couple beers too. Hopefully you can bring your dad to the tailgate next week.
Yeah, let's go next Saturday night, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, versus Miami. We might not have to get tickets. We'll just go to Bruheim, hang out.
There you go. That's probably what we're gonna do, and maybe get late tickets to go in there afterwards. Because we have two, but I don't know if I'm gonna bring the kids, so it just might be me and my girl. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just curious, is it family friendly? Like it is a bar or a brewery, but
oh yeah, it absolutely is. They have food for the kids, and then there's also sodas because Noble doesn't have sodas. They don't have drinks like that. So Bruheim has drinks for everybody. They even have non-alcoholic beers if you're into that thing. I mean, I'm not. But they're there. So
yeah, after the first few, it's like, all right, I just want the taste from now on. I gotta drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on, Todd. Well, thanks for having me on, man. Cheers to the W, and I'll talk to you again soon, man.
There you go, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's my boy right there, Stir Boogie. Jack Chandler checking in. How you doing, Jack? You got to hit the unmute button right there, and you can get on. Probably your volume's not probably clicked in. I'll leave you on there until you can get on. Oh, there you go. But I'm getting feedback, so you might want to turn down your other device.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh no.
But I think on the back end, I'm hearing the reverb. So.
Okay, dude. What I want to just tell you, man. I've been listening to you for. Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go for it, man.
Dude, I just want to give you props, man, to be able to come on here every game and just keep a straight face, dude. And I've seen you get animated because you care, and I respect that, dude. And I'm just like, after losing 7 in a row, and you're still coming on here, dude. That takes a lot of heart, dude. A lot of guts to come on here and keep doing that shit, dude. So props to you. Um, the guy that came on before me, he said, I don't know, was it Paris knocked in no? If we ever hear that again this season, I will be shocked as fuck, dude. I mean, what the, just crazy, dude. I mean, at least we got to win, though. At least we got to win. We fucking got to win, dude. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can want. I mean, I don't care how they do it offensively as long as they're able to knock these runs in. So if they keep it up and keep pressuring, good things will happen. The home runs will always come, but you got to get guys on base, and they haven't been doing a good job of that.
Do you think Paris and Neto should bat at the top, especially if we're going to struggle?
Yeah, I've been wanting that because then you could push down Shonawell, Soler, and Ward, and even Neto. Because my thing I would love to have Paris lead off and then Renifo too, and then you can go Neto 3, Soler keep him at 4, and then Shonawell protect Soler. With Ohapi after him, that would give you a pretty formidable 6, and then you can interchange the bottom 3.
Yeah, for sure.
But whatever they're going to do, they got to stick with it. This whole moving guys around all the time isn't working.
Are you worried that because we lost 99 games last year? Do you think we're going to lose more this year?
It's too early to tell. I need to see more play into June, and then I'll kind of get an idea of where we're at. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't see it happening, but you could win 7 out of 9 right here and erase the under 500 like nothing, or at least get back to being a game or two behind 500. But I got to see more consistency.
Yeah, the thing I mean, the one positive thing I do like is that we got a lot of young guys, and I would, Paris had he had a really good run, then he had like a bad week or two, and then it's like, just give the guy a chance, especially because we're sliding. I mean, it's still early. We have a ton of games to play, so I'm not giving up hope, but it's just like after still a lot that 7 game stretch, it's like 1 run, no runs, 1 run, no run. It's as an Angel fan, you just feel defeated, dude. And the way they started out, even 12-12, we're just thinking, just stay in the series, just just win a series. Okay, maybe get 1 game here and there, but then they lost the 7, so it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. I like I said too the other night, they can string it together, and they got to take advantage of this pitching streak right now and showcase these young guys. But they have to get on the right page. They have to follow the right game plan, because it seems like the game plan that they're following wasn't working. So. But again, thank you again for the props. Though I think this show's gonna be a lot better if the team starts winning. Because we'll get more passionate. We get passionate when they lose, dude. Imagine when they win. So,
Todd, imagine you if they're fucking winning, dude. You would be like on cloud 9, brother. You would just be like on a roll, man. Like nobody. Stephen A. These guys on ESPN wouldn't be able to keep up with you, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's a real high compliment. I really appreciate that.
Swear to God, man, you're a really good analyst, and you break it down. So I know it's tough just watching us. I mean, I've been watching you for the last couple of years. It's been tough because I know you care a lot about the team. So But hopefully they can turn it around, bro. But you know how it is, man. So you know
That,
how it is. We all know how it is, bro.
oh yeah, absolutely. Hardcore fans, especially like yourself. So, but I
Yeah.
appreciate the call, Jack.
Thank you for taking my call, man. Yeah, have a good night, man. I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
you
keep
too, man.
listening.
Anytime. That's Jack Chandler right there. Appreciate him coming on. But yeah, that's just how we go, man. You know, EQ's pretty pumped up about the game tonight. Also, the umpires being a little suspicious by Boo Boo Bear's mama. Joshua saying the strike zone kind of sucked. So it did, but the Angels were able to get the benefit. Again, that error was a huge turning point in this game. You know, getting that run, giving them a little bit of confidence, and then the Angels able to knock through the door in the 6th inning with 2 out hits, which they're not accustomed to getting. So it was really nice to see. Again, Detroit was all over the strike zone. They had 2 strike counts on plenty of Angel hitters, and the Angels could have sat there and took a lot more strikeouts. I mean, they still struck out 10. So even with a win like this, even if they're to string 3 or 4 games together, those strikeouts in my mind will still stay high. It's just going to take some time for these guys to fall back in line or get into a good routine, a good regimen to then focus in. Because one of my mission statements, if I was the manager before every game, would be like, that's our goal tonight, to strike out less than 10 times. That's our goal, to work at least 3 or 4 walks in a game. Let's take baby steps. Let's move forward. And as long as we're doing that collectively as a team, we're not pointing fingers at Ward. We're not pointing fingers at Trout. We're not pointing fingers at Soler. It's just man up and do your thing. And collectively, okay, if a couple guys go 0 for 3, if 3 guys go 0 for 3, let's make up for that by someone else coming through and getting a hit with a runner in scoring position. Let's see about making that big sacrifice fly to drive in that run, move the runner over. The little things do count that don't show up on your normal box score and are not really a StatCast stat. But that's the little things that the fans notice, because the other night when Tim Anderson knocked down that bunt, that wasn't a sarcastic cheer. You had cheering as if there was an RBI single, because that's what baseball fans want. That's what baseball fans need. That's what they know that the team like this that is struggling scoring runs needs to do to get back into the W column in the standings. So with that being said, that's how I would go about it. That would be the mission statement for every game. Let's just get a little bit better. Let's try a little bit harder, and collectively, pick up that guy that went 0 for 5, tap Ward on the bat and say, okay, you're just missing the slider a little bit. Lay off that slider. Let's get him next game. Keep the confidence going, keep the upbuilding going, and try to, I'm not saying Roger Lodge style, but as a team, fight for your brother. And if he can't get the run in, you get the run in. You know what I mean? You get the praise, and then you can give back the feedbacks, because I love when the players do it. They don't do it enough, in my opinion. Tell each other, hey man, you see that slider right there I put in the seats, or that slider I put down the freaking the sweeper I put down the line. Here's what you got to do. Look out for this. Or, maybe he's tipping his pitch here. It's the little things that can make a huge difference in bats or in a game. And also when you're on defense, pick your guy up, man. Know your position, know your role. If you don't have a good route to the ball, let the other guy grab it. Let the other guy call you off. Stuff like that, hear him. You know what I mean? Like don't just say, oh, no, I got it. If you got a better route to it, or if he's got a better route, concede and make sure he's in position to make that ball. Because sometimes, you can get mixed up in the, I've had it happen to me where I thought the outfielder was going to make a catch in front of me, although I'm calling him off being the center fielder, and he just stops, pinpointing the ball, drops right in front of me and him. And I'm like, dude, I had a better route on that, dude. You need to stop. When I tell you to stop, when I'm calling it, if I call it at all, you stop. You're not supposed to continue, because that could be a collision, concussion, everything. There's a lot at stake out there when you're playing, not just trying to catch the ball, but you can get seriously hurt. I've seen it happen too. When I played in high school, 2 guys ran into each other. They both knocked each other out. One broke his what is it called? His nose. The other one broke his clavicle, which is, right here. That's a very painful injury. So again, that's you really got to watch yourself. You really got to be attentive to detail. Attention to detail is huge in every facet of this game, especially at the pace that they play. They're on timers now, not like when I played. So it's a lot different. So this game is really strategic. It's really, you got to play it like you're playing a game of chess and with your pieces out there. That's why, it can be really unnerving to Angel fans or any kind of baseball fans when the umpires are sticking their ugly heads and making themselves a part of the game, or when the manager is just making really dumb decisions that in the stands, at home, on the radio, you're like, that's not going to be a good move. Like, why are you doing this? And then the questions come about. But I guess that's part of baseball. Since I've been watching it as a kid all the way onward, there's always been those type of deals. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like Lombardi always says on the show. So with that being said, I just got into another random rant there. So I appreciate all of you sticking on right there as we're going to hit the hour and 30 mark. Usually I like to end these shows on an hour going on, but there was a lot to chew on tonight. Thanks again for the super sticker donations by our star four tonight, Boo Boo Bear's mommy, Joshua, and Tony C, and Rally Chris. And then with that being said, thank you so much for participating in the Angels win. As we got to play Stukas, I will play you out with Stukas one last time and then hit you up with the like and the subscribe. We'd really appreciate that moving forward. I'm Todd Fox. We'll catch you tomorrow after the Angels game, right after the game. Go Angels, baby. Let's make it 2 in a row.